very good afternoon to you and welcome to the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliu has flagged off sales of buffer stock grains in the territory. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports that the grains comprises 7,200 bags of maize and 2,500 bags of guinea corn of 50 kg per bag at 50% subsidized rate to residents of the territory.
While reiterating the commitment of the present administration in job creation through the agriculture value chain, FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliu said that a number of local multinational companies are in the process of finalizing investment commitment in various agricultural value chains within the FCT.
As our administration remain focused in coursework of its set objectives, credit must, however, go to our dear President Muhammadu Buhari for his foresight in giving the administration backing towards strengthening local capacities in food production.
Also, at the official flag-off of public sales of subsidized buffer stock grains was the distribution of motorcycles. The minister maintained that the decision of multinational companies and African Development Bank to invest in FCT would help boost productivity and integrated production processing distribution, and most importantly, create wealth for the teeming youths. In a related development, the FCT Minister of State also flagged off the harvest and sales of products by beneficiaries at FCT Agriculture and Allied Trade Center for Youth and Women in Kwali Area Council. The minister revealed that the conceptualization of the projects by FCT administration was aimed at addressing problems of poverty by creating a viable source of livelihood, especially for the less privileged members of the society. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, Nta News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration, through the FCT Secondary Education Board, has installed solar-powered streetlights in 18 boarding and one-day secondary schools in the FCT. Shaibu Noze Yakubu, who visited some of the benefiting schools, brought back this report.
The stand-alone solar-powered street lighting system is to complement the conventional lights to illuminate the school environment, thereby reducing cost and address security challenge. Chairman FCT Secondary Education Board, Yahya Musa Muhammad, disclosed that under the first phase of the project, 18 boarding and one-day senior secondary schools benefited out of the 77 senior secondary schools in the FCT.
We thought it wise, as responsible people who are saddled with responsibility to oversee the activities of our schools, to initiate this project to ensure that our schools are well lit in the night, and actually is a thing of joy for anyone to visit our boarding schools in the FCT today.
The issue of security is also very, very important, and that is why these street lights were very, very important, and they came in handy. When we looked at the issue of security of the whole country, what can we do to help these children? These are children that have been put into our care. We need these lights. So these lights have come in handy because the security men can see clearly, more clearly in the night, and then be able to see how, God will help them to give better security.
Some of the benefiting schools visited include Government Girls Secondary School, Dute, GSS Buari, and Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaji.
In the night, everywhere is properly lit, except that the only thing is if we can have same for the hostels that is inside, the hostels, the classrooms, the dining hall area, it will be super. But for the compound now, it's a good thing that has happened to us.
And the students sometimes are even afraid to go for night preps. But with this solar lights now, the school is always bright at night, and movement at night is much easier now.
The 19 benefiting schools cut across the 6 area councils of the FCT. Shaibu Noze Yakubu, Nta News.
Officials of the Development Control Department of FCT administration and members of the Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation have pulled down shanties and illegal structures at Ruga community along Airport Road, Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia has details of the cleaning exercise.
The FCT administration, through the Development Control Departments and the Ministerial Task Force on City Sanitation, spared no shanties and structures that the officials described as illegal at Ruga community. And after due consultations and the expiration of notices earlier served to the community, the bulldozers went into action under tight security supervision.
By ensuring that we checkmate the issue of security challenge, as well as bringing orderliness and sanitation to the capital city environment. Whatever wood is removed here, the wood is set ablaze as trash so that people will not come back here. Really very painful here, but they should understand that the city center is not for everybody. They should go to the suburbs.
Government officials say intelligence report pose security threat to the nation's capital.
90% of crime being operated on the Uye and Haba district from this shanty settlement, and based on intelligence and due diligence from all the security agencies, I think if we remove this kind of settlement, I think everybody will go and be peaceful.
The affected persons who were visibly in shock over the operation appealed to the FCT administration for an alternative settlement.
The government is requiring right, but the only issue is that we are pleading the government to consider us as a citizen, that we are living here more than 25 years here.
The demolition exercise the authorities maintained is done in line with the Abuja Master Plan and the resolve of the FCT administration of the city always. Abdullahi Ajia, Nta News.
Now to the update on COVID-19 cases in the FCT. Figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCD, 22nd September 2020 indicates 17 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT, making the total number of confirmed cases to be 5,583, while active cases now stands at 580, and the number of discharged cases in the territory now stands at 4,927, and sadly, 76 deaths have so far been recorded in the Federal Capital Territory. In the meantime, as the index cases of coronavirus pandemic continue to go down due to the proactive measures of the government, Chidima Anson Agomo samples opinion of some Nigerians on the good and the ugly of the virus.
No doubt that unprecedented measures have been adopted to control the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Although the battle is not totally over, but what are the experiences Nigerians can readily remember about COVID-19?
It has its negative and more of negative impact on Nigeria because we are not prepared. So a lot of things went bad. People were stopped from going to work. And you know, the Nigerian sector, the informal sector drives the Nigerian system, economy. And a lot of these people, we are stopped from going to their various, doing their various businesses. It's only our own that we are expected to.
Cleanliness, to be neat, take your environment clean.
The ongoing pandemic COVID-19 all over the world, with Nigeria having its shares, has thrown up many pertinent lessons. Many consider the pandemic as most crucial global health calamity of the century that has affected all segments of the population of the world: social life, economic, entertainment, poor cash flow, to mention but a few.
It affected our shows, music shows and all those things. So that is a lesson we learned from it.
It's taught us definitely to be more cautious of things in general and to be more hygienic. Because even till now, I wash my hands and I'm more conscious of places I touch.
The question on the lips of many is, when will the world be completely free from the pandemic? Chidima Anson,
Agomo, NTA News.
Away from health to security now. A positive risk to the police leadership request for partnership in the FCT for crime prevention is already yielding positive results in the Life Camp axis. This followed the deployment of a new area commander. Ilyas Onotu Yakubu spoke to some residents in this background report.
There's a new sheriff in town around the Life Camp Police Area Command, and suspected criminal elements are not smiling as a result of his campaign against their activities.
Gwarimpa was a hot area for pockets of criminal challenges before ACP Nendel Gomar's deployment, which residents say the impact of the new strategies he has initiated are evident. To ensure that the target and common objectives are achieved, the people say they are resolved to work with and...
But not all the police know the criminals. So when we station one place, the criminal will be watching them. Immediately they move around. Before they come back, they will do something. That's why we to voluntarily set some groups to be monitoring all those criminals. When we see that our power, our group, we let the police know.
Activities of street urchins around the area, no thanks to the proactive leadership of the police. Authorities to do the needful.
Last time they don't have any service of the vehicle. Look at the vehicles there outside. You look at them. Vehicles that cannot pursue even a motorcycle. Then how can you say? And the government, they are the one that's supposed to do it. And you know, police vehicles, they work 24 hours. From morning to 6, another group will come and take it in the evening. Then how can you expect, do you expect that type of vehicle to last long?
We have their number.
Residents appealed to the police command also to deploy more manpower to sustain the tempo. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
If you just joined us, this is the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. We'll take a pause and come back shortly. Stay with us.
Yeah, what though? This coronavirus, everybody they talk, not be play. Anybody fit catch am anywhere and e not dey show for face. If you catch am, you fit peme. If person wey get a cough or sneeze, anything where the side, not shake anybody hand, not dey hug anybody. They wash hand every time with soap and water where they flow. Make you wash hand like say you use and touch pepper, come take and clean your face. If water not there, use and sanitize hand. If you dey cough, body dey hot and not fit breathe, if it be say na coronavirus be that so, make you call this number sharp.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 1 p.m. Now, when employees perceive that they are not treated fairly with respect to pay for condition of service, there are bound to be disagreement between them and their employers, which leads to protests commonly registered through industrial and strike actions. Hakimat Aliu tells us more in this report examining the trends of strike in Nigeria.
The term strike
what they were looking for, we are giving to them.
In Nigeria, some issues have given rise to the decision to call for strike by unions, with highest frequency of strike recorded in the nation's tertiary institutions, the health sector, and in rare cases, the Nigerian workers, under the auspices of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and Trade Union Congress, TUC.
Even though the civil servant is, asking for his own right, it is the ordinary man that still suffers. We've lost patience because maybe the doctors are on strike or the nurses are on strike.
Though it is widely believed there may be genuine industrial action remains a tool in the hands of organized labor and unions to press home demands and ensure collective bargaining process is carried through.
Causes of why we have constant strikes or constant, simply engage the citizens in every government action and policy you want to do. Engage citizens at all levels.
Many believe amicable resolution through dialogue and carrying all necessary parties along in any decision remains critical to avert strike.
Way to go, Hakimat. All right, scavenging business is one that could easily change the fortunes of those involved for good. It has no doubt grown to become a business to many, which re-emphasizes the issue of waste to wealth. Amira Muhammad in this report takes a look at the economic prospect of a scavenging site in Suleja, Niger State.
Global statistics of recycling. Most waste is currently dumped or disposed of in some form of landfill, as the rate decreases in high-income countries to 39%, with diversion of 36% of waste to recycling and composting, and 22% to incineration. The United States is the biggest generator of waste per capita worldwide. Linking the process of scavenging down to Nigeria, Guazunu Solid Waste Cooperative provides an example of a local recycling capacity, providing odd jobs for many.
You know, there is like that, but instead of you to stay at home, you understand, they beg your enemy something. So, join they do because for the work, maybe say the payment too much. Anything where you work, 9 days.
Solid waste and rough materials are gathered by scavengers, popularly known as babambola, and go through a recycling process to meet good standard of economy and consumers' targets.
Roughly, we have almost 11 women here, but still, with time, if we can get what we want, we wanted to employ more women. But for now, for the small water rubber, we just have only one machine.
As described by waste management company operators, location given to gather these materials by scavengers are actually monitored and paid for.
We used to drop money from their boats there. By the time we drop money, it's not just rubber, but carton, rubber, iron.
Economics for supply and demand can't fully capture the value of building demand for recyclables. But when compared with different counterparts, the recycled products provide a number of intangible but increasingly crucial business benefits. Amira Muhammad, NTA News.
Kurumin Sarkin Isa community is faced with different challenges such as infrastructure and basic amenities, and that has reduced the standard of living amongst the community members. Again, Amira Muhammad brought back this report from the community.
Residents of Kurum Sariki are in dire need of government intervention as they lament on the deplorable road situation and other infrastructure that has not been put in place for a comfortable living and also to carry out their daily activities.
Roads, we now have the roads. There's a road from this 1992 when they start their roads from a stadium on here for Jubilee side. We didn't have it. Even from Airport to come here, we don't have the lights. This, how do you call it? Solar. When they don't already put them for roads. We don't even benefit anything.
Speaking with some residents and the community leader, they also made it known that the community was full of life over the years because of the popular stadium located at the entrance of the community and also the recreational view of the Bako River, which is now a shadow of itself.
No bridge, nothing. So we are looking for a person that will help us to construct bridge for us. It's already have already tried, but still
Because of the light, you need to get light. You will see another place and get light. Before, they get kankara, Nigeria will get kankara, but now, you need to see kankara. Even a brick like 3 hour or 1 hour, sometime I don't know what give us. That is not good.
The people thereby plead with government and other authorities to find a lasting solution to the problem, as it will go a long way in improving the standard of living of the community. Amira Muhammad, Nta News.
And still on Community Outlook, Dusekpe, a fast-growing community tucked in the fringe of Wari Area Council, is a stone throw from the Public Service Institutes, the National Open University, and other sprawling infrastructure. Through the eyes of its traditional leader, His Royal Highness Chief James Yahaya Shau, tells a rich story of cultural heritage on this edition of Eye on the Countryside.
Likened to a case of lacking amidst plenty, the Usuma Dam supplies water to the entire capital city and satellite settlements. It passes through Dusepe, a largely baggy community, but not felt by the residents.
The water from water passed through this place. We here we cannot access water.
The council is also trying its own best to see how we can help them in solving that issue once and for all. But we also need their own cooperation, because it has to. They must cooperate and safeguard this facility.
A modestly springing town, Dusepe is bordered by a rocky landscape, concealing a very traditional people.
The Gbagis are known for so many things, but more prominent and peculiar is our women carrying load on their shoulder. That is what we grew and met. The load that they can carry it on shoulder, nobody can carry it on the head. Even themselves that is carrying the load on the head, if you put it on the head, they can't go far.
The Japo delicacy speaks volume as to the complexity surrounding their industry in food production, which has earned the larger society, Buhari, the tag, Abuja's food basket.
It's a kind of food. Use either guinea corn or maize corn to prepare it. In the outside they call it tuwo. Then we eat it immediately. It is being prepared with any form of soup, but we don't eat all. We leave it and put inside water till the following day. Then from out of it, either in the morning or afternoon, you bring it up and smash it inside water. Then you can use soup or use peculiar soup that goes with it. We call it kandolo.
Dusepe is not without its own peculiar. The large human resources in the community utilize capacity for the common good.
We do community service by, clearing the gutters so as to allow flood to move freely. The government has no contribution into it.
The name Dusepe is not original. Modifications, the paramount ruler told me, helped in the perception and eventual adoption, among other interesting facts he dished out.
If you want to distinguish by tribe, like we have the Gwandara, otherwise known as Koro, the Gbagis. So if you want to distinguish between the Gbagis and the Gwandaras, you say Duse Koro or Duse Gbagi. Like
Other sports news, identity of new head coach for Nigeria Flying Eagles revealed, as president of Nigeria Wrestling Federation Daniel Igale is vying to become first Black African World Wrestling Bureau member. Hakimat Aliu has details of this and more on our sports brief.